What is up, everybody? You're listening to the Air Raid Attack podcast. I'm your host, Michael, and our co host, Jamie, will be joining us shortly. But first things first, we got a fun show for you today, coming all the way from the FCF Board Ape Football Club. Of course, getting ready for the People's Championship game. Wide receiver Maurice Thomas. Maurice, first off, congrats on the big win over Aoki this weekend, and hey, welcome to the podcast.
I appreciate you having me, man. I was surprised a little bit by the jersey you had on, but we're not gonna. We'll get into that a little bit later. I'm just happy to be here.
First things first, and just so you guys know, I had no intention of wearing this, but I figured, hey, we're talking FCF football, and what better way to rep the Zappers, who's in of course, the championship game that we'll be talking here shortly as well against Board 8. But first things first, Maurice, is tell us kind of like what's it been like this season with fan controlled football, and of course the second season. What a lot of people don't know, it's season 2.0, and what's it been like, and how's it been treating you, and what you kind of get out of this whole league this year.
Uh, from early on, it was started out as a very professional experience, especially in the tryout where they have them, all around the country. Uh, there's tons of guys at different levels that come out to compete. And from the tryout, I was thinking it would be kind of, not as competitive. It was kind of more of an entertainment thing. But as I got here and I seen how professional it was, getting into the hotel, weighing in and weighing out every day, the strength program with Coach Carey, Coach Reese, and those guys getting in and out of meetings every day, going into training camp. I seen that it was going to be a very professional experience, and each week they surprised me with something new, whether it was celebrities at the game or guys coming in to talk with us and get with us with entrepreneurship or building businesses. It was an enlightening experience so far, but you really want to make the most out of it. It's been great so far, and I'm happy that I'm seeing the end here.
Hey, of course, and I'm sure, and a lot of people, of course, it's a big catch. A lot of people that I know is into it. Had a few about a few weeks ago. Holly, a big FCF fan, and it's gaining traction. And what people don't realize, and if you're listening for the first time, or if you're hearing about the FCF for the first time, it's practically a professional sports league in a digital world, and 7-on-7. The fans of the offensive play calling, and you know, go into that. What's it, course, what we call, regular offensive play calling compared to the sideline to this. What's it been like? Obviously, we're used to, I played football back in the day, not probably so much now, I probably could, but back in the day, we're obviously getting the play calling from the sideline, but now we're waiting on us, the fans, are the ones calling the plays. What's it been like? Just kind of like you guys got the momentum going, tempo, so on and so forth offensively. Now you got a roughly 10 to 15, 20-second break as a play call is voted, and of course gets to the head coach, and of course to you guys.
Yeah, I'd even say it's a little bit longer, 45 to a minute in between each play. I mean, they whooped us into shape right when we got here uh,
Right.
in camp, but the game seems a little bit slower than what I'm used to, especially going from the CFL level up in Winnipeg to now here at the FCF. We gotta right after the play's done, they get the vote up, they get the poll up, they do the best they can, and within the next 45 seconds to a minute, we gotta wait on that play call. But getting in tune with the fans is really what's caught my attention. Uh, I'm frequently getting messages like in the discords. I'm getting tagged, and it's like, "Hey, what do you want us to run? What's the game plan this week?" And the closer you are, I believe, with your fans, and they act as the head coach, really, the more successful your team could be.
Absolutely. And and all the listeners out there, even the live streamers watching, it's definitely, if it's, I know it's the last week of the season, of course, it's people's championship game, but I want to tell you, to be honest, it's a league that you guys really need to get your eyes on, because what I like is the players are really interactive with the fans. I've noticed on all social media, Twitter being my biggest one, but it's a fun league. It's a fun league, and
Yeah.
so, of course, going to the Canadian football, to the FCF. Talk, kind of walk us through, how are you reached out to when it came to, of course, tryouts, camps, so on and so forth?
Yeah, so my experience was, or the FCF experience was brought to my attention by
Mhm.
my quarterback, DeAndre Francois, FSU quarterback. Um, Obviously transferred out to Hampton, but he was in this league last year.
Mhm.
He was looking for an opportunity to come back. We were both looking for CFL options, and while we were doing those tryouts, he actually hit me up about this league. In the meantime, and he was like, "Hey, come play for us, or come play out here in the FCF. It's a good chance we'll end up on the same team." I took that chance, moved out of my home that I just bought, and here we are, exactly where he said, in the championship. So this is exactly what we plan to do. But that's how I heard about it. I seen it had gained some traction last year when he was playing it. Obviously, I'm a supporter of him. I watched a game or two, and it was a bubble back then. But now that the fans are in the crowd, and they're right there next to the wall, they're up in the VIP sections, right above the field. You can hear the heckles, you can hear the cheers. It's like it's a cool experience. The lights, they really got it up and running. I'm feeling
Speaking of that, the Pullman Yards. The I haven't been there, of course. Hopefully next year I will. But you're looking at the real nice facility that they built. Of course, opened up this year, and kind of, what's it been like? Obviously, from what I can see on the television set, um, and on the phone if I'm not able to watch it on TV. But what's it like? Because it looks like to me that I guess what you would consider the clubs or suites, it's kind of over the field type thing. What's it been like? Just really the atmosphere, because obviously we can't see the
it.
whole 50 yards and then some. What's it feel like just walking out there and hearing the fans and the people in the clubs? I mean, I gotta ask this: do you still get heckled by some fans at least?
Oh, most definitely. Marshawn Lynch is out there. He's giving the guys a few words. He's actually just been on the field, giving the guys a few words, going back and forth with guys. But a couple trash talkers, especially from the Knights of Degen community. But it's for me, it's real easy to tune out.
Right.
Um, I don't really say anything back. I'm so locked in on the game. But the more people that get in there, like the week where it was head honcho week, where it was Quavo's week, and there's a lot of celebrities at the game, Tyreek Hill and Robbie Anderson, Quavo was there obviously, and Dwight Howard, all those guys showed up, and the place was jumping, man. It was nice. It was a great atmosphere to be in. Um, and then the games were electric that week too.
Oh.
So I was really excited. I mean, if you want to talk trash to me, that's cool. But when I get to talking back, you don't want me to win because you know what I mean. Like I'm not stopping after that.
Speaking of trash, anyone throughout the season that
Mhm.
you played with, and people don't, if you're not used to the FCF, there's a weekly draft and so on and so forth. Has there been one player throughout this season that's the world's biggest trash talker that you've dealt with? Is there that one player?
Hmm.
I know I don't want to put you on the spot. I'm just kind of curious who's the most trash talking out there.
I mean, the stuff that I get into is like I don't really get into it in the game because I don't get talked to in the game.
Right.
I get the jawing in practice mostly because I try to keep it as professional as possible
Mhm.
on the field. But while I practice, I kind of get into it with hear a lot of talking from Styrus, which is Smooth, and Smooth, which is on the other team. He's a Zappers cornerback this week, and Stiggers, which is one of the defensive player of the year candidates. We get to talking a lot, especially in practice. You can hear those guys from across the field, and then one more is probably Kane. The DBs are the loudest people on the field. So just so you know, they
Right.
whether it's complete or whether it's incomplete, they're some of the loudest guys you'll find, especially Kane. So
I like that. I was kind of curious, you have those behind the scenes, maybe so much, it's kind of putting out there and see, who might be out there. And of course, as you prep for Saturdays and so on and so forth, what's a daily week look like for you guys? Are you, I mean, obviously a lot of you guys are, practically out of town, so to speak, staying in Atlanta throughout the season and going back home,
yeah.
so on and so forth. What's it, a typical day look like, or a typical week looks like for you, if I can talk right, looks like for you leading up to Saturday's kickoffs?
Yeah, so typical week is kind of like we get in on Tuesday. So the schedule changed kind of mid-season where they started giving us, a little bit more rest time because guys are obviously playing two games. You get to draft two defenses. So guys were playing two games, so they gave us off Sunday, Monday, and those are great rest periods. They still have the training staff there, so that we can recover and get our bodies right. But as far as we get in the helmets on Tuesdays. Wednesdays we'll go. There's the man up challenge where a lot of people get to prove themselves in one on ones, and we have the big man up, which is like the offensive lineman man ups, which is one on one offense defensive lineman. But so we are in helmets Tuesday. We go full pads Wednesday, which is one of our more intense days. Uh, except for the guys who are doing the man up that night. We lift in the middle of the day on Wednesday. Thursday, pop out, just helmets. Friday, again, we lift early in the morning. We have COVID testing, meetings following. They feed us good, breakfast. And then we're out on the field again for a walkthrough for the final day. And then Saturday's the big day. We wake up, they give us breakfast, and they shuttle us back and forth to the stadium. And that's where everybody sees the magic happen. So there's a lot of preparation. We lift 2 to 3 times a week, and a lot of meetings in between there too.
Very nice. And you look, obviously your FCS in some aspect is not your typical, what a lot of people would say, NFL type thing. You got your ball. I mean, obviously you got your team, but you're set in stone throughout the whole entire year. You got your quarterback sessions. You got each department or each position in the department, of course, offensive, defensive meetings.
Mm-hmm.
How's it been like? If it hasn't, if it's helped, seeing like the TOs and the players out there, and Terrence Williams, of course, repping him with the Zappers, but players that's been in the league, and obviously, you know, I would say, definitely T.O. Hall of Famer, T. Williams has been a stud at Dallas for a while, but players like that, have they, has it been knowing that, hey, we got these players playing alongside us, but at the same time, learning, I'm sure from them, have T.O. or anything, I'm up, if they have it, obviously, I don't know where it's like, oh, T.O.'s, whatever, but has it been pretty cool working with T.O. and even Terrence Williams throughout the year?
Yeah, most definitely. You don't expect that coming in. Obviously, those guys aren't at the tryouts. We got to work with Martavis Bryant, obviously Terrence Williams, and the Hall of Famer T.O. and Giants running back that came out. Seeing those guys that have been at the next level in the NFL operate uh, up close and personal is awesome. I mean, it puts it in perspective for you of how far off you are, or if you're better than, or if you're equal to those guys. And you want to take pointers wherever you can get them because they've obviously been at that level. Speaking with Terrence Williams and working out with him, running routes with him after practice, just getting a little bit of tips and pointers here and there. He's a stud, man, and he handles himself as such. When you see him take those characteristics of I'm not too big for this league.
Right.
I love the game, and I'm going to stay after practice whether I think I'm better than these guys or not. You know what I mean? He takes that mentality with him everywhere, and the same thing with Tio. I mean, whenever he talks, I mean, everybody's listening. It's the same thing. So seeing all those guys out here, it's a blessing to be able to work with high talents. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. No, I get that, and I respect T.O. and Terrence Williams and Artavius Bryant and was it Rashad Jennings? I think was the one that might have came out, but I respect them because, like you said, it doesn't make them look like they're any better than obviously anybody that's in the FCF, and you look at Johnny Manziel, and I know he brings to some he brings baggage, but you still got to like the man. But what's it? What was the question I was going? Oh, when you look at players like a To, like a Terrence Williams, stuff like players like that. On the sideline, we obviously they're talking to the young kids, so on and so forth. And of course, I'm sure um, maybe at times frustration. I don't really know, but Is there any, on the sideline, if you're happen to be after the game, do they come up to you and say anything, or kind of like, hey, just typical handshake
Oh,
and
for sure. Those guys are part of the league. Your T.O.s and your Terrence Williamses, those guys are part of the league. They're part of the team. They act as such. Rashad Jennings came out, talked to us. Was happy to speak with anybody after. He actually stayed for probably an extra hour and a half. Came out to multiple practices. He doesn't just suit up, but especially Terrence Williams. He's in the calf. He's in the hotel often. We sit at dinner, breakfast together, or sorry, dinner and lunch together. He sleeps in a lot. You gotta watch him. No breakfast with Terrence Williams. You might not catch him there, but definitely a good time, man. And those guys are grown men, just like us. I mean, I wouldn't even say that the skill level is far off or that much different, but you notice that the way these guys carry themselves is is sometimes at a more professional level, and you could take a lot of you can nitpick and take something from their game and how they handle themselves, and you can see how they got to the NFL with the work habits that they use.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that. I respect that. And of course, back to Money Mo. Hey, I got to ask the question. Obviously, I don't know if you guys watch the read the chats, the Twitch chat rooms after the games or not, but it's hilarious watching them. Of course, during the game, it talks about Wendy's, and literally everybody's now talking about Wendy's
Yeah.
the entire time. Do you guys, to an extent, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, it's perfectly fine.
Mhm.
It's hilarious watching the fans or reading like my conversation and everybody else's conversation. Quit passing the ball, so and so. Run it. Do you guys, after a while, ever get like, all right, guys, come on now, let's mix things up here, or do you guys just think, hey, we're just gonna run with this thing?
With the play calls,
Play calls from the fans.
yeah. So like I said, I've been a board 8 member since week 1.
Yep.
Right. Franchise tagged in week 3,
Yep.
and week 2 is when I got in Discord. But those guys, we get new install each week so that you guys have new play calls. We're not running the same thing every single week, but we get new installs every week where we have to learn. Probably get like around 9 to 12 new plays uh, each time from different formations each week. But we got to run through those, and I take those plays and I send them to the Discord, and
Nice.
then from those plays we'll figure out what we want to run through there, and we come up with a game plan. And our coaches even in Discord, so we're pretty aligned. But there have been a couple questionable calls. As far I remember, week 4 it was 3rd and 16, and we pulled out our goal line package to run a trick play, and me and DeAndre were looking at each other in the huddle, and we were all just kind of looking around, and we called timeout. We were just like, "You guys need to scratch that. You're not running that. You're not running that." I don't know who called that play. I don't know if it was like the Discord didn't get as much vote than the regular fan base, but we weren't running that play.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've always thought that when there's like for example, 3rd and 16, you're gonna run it. Has there ever been a situation where you guys look at each other and like, nah, damn it, no, we're gonna mix things up. We're just gonna do a fake. We're gonna change the call regardless if the fans know it or not, or are you just gonna go with it and just really kind of? Has it ever been a moment that you guys are like, let's just
Um,
change things up?
Now we definitely stay away from that. Coach Leota, we can hear it with everyone on the offense besides the offensive line has a microphone in their helmet, and that's where we get the play calls from. And Coach Leota knows if we're changing the plays or not. But we'll add maybe like an RPO tag in some of the runs, or if Dre sees something he doesn't like, or sorry, sees something that he does like,
Right.
we'll keep the play on, but we'll add like a tag to it.
Gotcha.
But we try to we stick with what the fans call for the most part.
I was, it's always was curious questions like, 3rd and 16, stuff like that. It's like, I wonder if there's ever those moments where you guys look at each other like, maybe add a tag to it or some sorts of things. Because I'm sure there's some of the play calls like, why did we even? But it's the fun part. That's what I like about FCF is the
Yeah,
fact that literally fans control the game and
literally.
yeah. I mean, we make the decisions on the instant replays and all that fun stuff. And of course, that's even more of a hilarious conversation is reading all those comments during the instant replays.
And
And
sometimes I go back. I usually watch my film in the film room with the app that we have. But when I do go back and watch the live stream of it, some of the comments are really funny.
But going back to Canadian football, of course, you mentioned coming from Winnipeg, and many, of course, in the states may not be used to Canadian football, but that's a different field league in itself as well. Field is a lot longer, field is a lot wider, and so excuse me, what's it been like the transition from Canadian football? Because I know people always say football is football, but you still got your transition moments. What's it been like? Also, literally transition from a longer field and a wider field
Mhm.
to the FCF, which is obviously your typical arena football, 50 yards and 7-on-7.
Yeah, 7-on-7. Something I've never played before indoor anyway. I've played outdoor 7-on-7 on the regular field, but it took. I would think it. I didn't expect it to take things away from my game. You know what I mean? So when you get those fast, jet, speedy guys who are used to going sideline to sideline and creating separation in their routes at the top or taking the top off the defense, there isn't much taking the top off the defense on a 45-yard field. You know what I mean? Well, 50-yard field, but we start on the 10-yard line, so practically 40. But getting those jet sweeps is a little different. I can usually be the guy to the sideline, but when the field's only, when I only got 15 yards to do so, it gets a little bit more challenging. And it's definitely been a big adjustment, especially going from coming from CFL ball, where the field is 120 yards long and even wider, almost twice as wide actually. But this is it's been a big adjustment. I think I've done pretty well, and the guys that I've seen in here that took advantage of it, like your Andrew Jamils, it actually helps creating that separation on such a smaller field. I think it helps you as a wide receiver.
Do you miss? That's a weird random question.
Uh,
Do you miss the really cold weather in Canada when you guys were playing? Or was it kind of warm? I know their summers are a little bit different months than ours. Obviously, is like if you're down here. But any cold games you can recall back up in Canadian football with Winnipeg?
yeah, I was actually just I made it through a couple weeks of camp. I didn't actually get to play. That was the year they won the championship, 2019. But I did play ball in West Virginia, and no, I don't like playing in the cold. That's not the move for me. I'm obviously a Florida boy from Orlando, and
Nice.
I don't know about playing in the snow. That's not for me.
So what you're telling me is it's gonna be tough for you to be up in like Lambeau Field, 12 degrees, winds blowing 40 miles an hour with snow in the field.
I won't say it's going to be tough, but I will say it will be uncomfortable for sure.
I respect that. I respect that.
Now, I'm gonna make it happen no matter what, man. You can put me in. I've been to Arizona, played in the desert.
Yo.
A little bit of heat exhaustion because it's not as humid. But like I said, I still scored, got the job done, especially in college. It's I'm gonna get the job done no matter where you put me. That's what I'm saying. But
Hey,
I might be a little uncomfortable. You let me know. Would you be uncomfortable with 4-degree weather
Yo.
out
Oh,
there?
I played a few games that's been pretty cold, and trust me, it hurts when you hit that field, and
Facts.
especially when it's really cold. But if I had to pick, Oklahoma heat can suck though too. I would give me my 60-degree weathers, but I'd rather do with little heat compared to really cold.
Yeah.
I'll handle that, even though that'd be pretty tough.
Same. We had a recent practice canceled because it was 114 degrees out there on the turf the other day. And,
Whoa.
I had never heard of practice being canceled because it was too hot being from Central Florida.
Right.
So I was a little bit in shock, but I guess that's what they do at the professional level. We just move indoor where there's shade and AC. So that's something I never heard of, but it was nice getting to practice in the AC though. I wasn't complaining.
Hey, I wouldn't complain about that one,
Mhm.
especially I'm sure with the 114. The humidity in Florida is or down there is pretty tough. But hey, you know, you can't take anything wrong with that.
Uh-huh.
So leading course throughout football, you always have there's certain ones that would stand by your side. Anybody throughout your career, from literally when you first started playing football up through college and now into the FCF and beyond, who's inspired you to continue your football dream throughout your playing career and just in your life in general?
Uh, I think to sound, I don't want to sound selfish in this sense
Right.
or conceited, but myself. I mean, it starts with yourself. I feel like any player should say that, and it's your own passion and love for the game. You know what I mean? And after college, I went into CFL. I was cut from mini camp, had a rotator cuff surgery. I had tore my rotator cuff, and I thought I was done. Got a good job. Sat in the house for a little bit during COVID. Got a good job playing video games.
Nice.
I'm a developer, or I'm a not a developer. Sorry, I'm a quality gameplay. I'm a quality gameplay designer at EA Sports. Yeah, so I do that.
Oh,
I do motion capture. So
hmm.
for the game, but I thought I had settled down and found a job, but my love for the game was still kind of itching at me,
Yes, sir.
and I would like to say myself because I decided to get up off the couch and get back in the gym, work out, and get back to where I wanted to be. But as far as inspiration goes, my I would have to say my mom. My mom's been my biggest supporter. I mean, she's been at all the games. She's cut up shirts and pasted my face on them. Wore my jerseys.
Nice.
She's scream. She was in the VIP box during the game. I'm like, Mom, how'd you get up there? I got you the general admission tickets. But she networks and she knows people, and she spoke with the commissioner and the owner of the Apes, and
Hmm.
yeah, she's just been my biggest supporter, man. She posts me all the time, so definitely, and especially my dad too. My dad's been there since day one, whether it was playing catch with me outside, um, running me over, or getting me to tackle him. He kind of created that gritty, tough personality you see out on the field, where I'm falling real hard or running head first into the wall and getting back up. It's kind of where your ego meets your talent, or mental stability meets your talent. So he was out there bullying me, and that's why you don't see me talk a lot. I kind of get up, and it is what it is, and I'm gonna figure out a way to win no matter what. But yeah, definitely my mom and my dad being those mentors and supporters for me. But as far as on the field goes, I'd say myself. I've driven myself to get better.
I like that, and I think a lot of people fail to really think that because we are our own worst enemy. I mean, if we get tired because it's not 200. For it's 200 degrees, we're screwed. If it's 110 degrees outside and we got to run, gassers and so on and so forth, hey, I'm just not going to do it. We're our own worst enemy as much as it. And I like how we got to continue to push ourselves, and I like that because, like you said, hey, you got to keep grinding. In layman's terms, you got to keep grinding. If you want to
Yeah,
go where you want to go, you got to keep grinding, and I like that mentality, and I respect that.
for sure. I mean, you've been out there on the field, and it's all really a mental game. Whether you're playing basketball, golf, whether you're in the office, it's all a mental game against yourself. And like you said, put your head down and just grind, man. It's all a mental state.
Of course, People's Championship game this week. Second overall year for it, and hey, what any different mindset looking into this week, or it's just typical business as usual? Anything different happening? Any distractions, so on and so forth that you guys are facing a little bit that might be different compared to the weeks previous, or it pretty much looks like same as business as usual?
Yeah, I mean, since we came in, the Board A Football Club has had the same goal. I mean, which is to win the championship. Since week one, we were like, oh, we're winning the ship. We were drafting teams left and right, strategizing. The goal was always to win a championship and take it 1 week at a time, and that's exactly what we did. Our only losses came from we were, taking players out, short players, but we had already secured the playoff spot, and that's exactly what we were looking to do. I mean, we didn't fall short of any goals. Obviously, competitive spirit, we wanted to win the game, but we got to where we wanted to go. And as you can see, we sent Adoki back on the flight home last week, and now we're exactly where we want to be, and we got the same game plan to come out there and execute. And I believe in our defense. I believe in our offense. We always have trust in our offense and our quarterback, number one in the league. But yes, business as usual, man. Pick up that briefcase and get to it. You'll see it's very serious, Board 8 Football Club. If it's even possible to be more focused than we have been before, you're going to see it. So good luck to our opponent.
Of course, the Zappers is their opponent, and you got probably the two best quarter. Kelly Bryant has played phenomenal the last few weeks, and of course, you can't go wrong with your quarterback. You guys have been lights out. In my personal opinion, probably the most dominant team all year long and more consistent. And I think that gives credit where credit's due to you guys as well, putting the work in. But you're looking at the Zappers, Kelly Bryant, of course, Terrence Williams had a great game last week against Should Have Been Stars. If you're used to it, obviously the Wild Aces from last year. But what's the key to stopping this offense that has been almost nonstop? Well, they were unstoppable last week. What's the keys to the big game to get that championship to Board 8 Football Club?
I can only do my part on offense, but I'm actually really I have a lot of trust in our defense. We got great guys. Cecil Cherry, hard hitter. I don't think they'll be running the ball on us much. Just like you've seen what we did with Malcolm, we were able to contain him. Great talent, but he was in a box. You know what I mean? He was in a box come last Saturday. And I have great faith in our DBs. I wouldn't have picked a better DB core with Stickers and Mike Lee and Sam Brown out there. I think we match up pretty well, if not better. To stop offense that's kind of been on the roll, I feel like we just kind of got to man up and, get in their faces, get physical, and keep Kelly Bryant in the pocket. That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I'm not the defensive coordinator. I'm not sure what they plan to do, but I'd want to keep him in the pocket. I'm a stat guy, and I watch the offenses, I watch the defenses. But watching them, I think that's where we'll have the most success if we can get him to throw the ball and get some pressure on him. That'll be great. If we can keep him from using his legs, we'll be perfectly fine. I don't see us having any problems.
I'm looking forward to it. Obviously, not because of a fan base or from a fan / co-owner, fan owner type thing. But overall, I'm looking forward to this game. You got the team that's been consistent all year long. In my opinion, probably the most definitely the dominant team all year long. And of course, now you got the team that started 0-4 and finished out winning winning out. And of course, taking care of business last week with the Zappers. And I'm actually looking forward to it. It's going to be a very interesting. It should be a really good game.
Yeah, we got a little chippy at practice. We talk back and forth, and got a couple board apes saying that they're lucky to be here. The lucky guys got a fumble call, late at the end of the game.
Yeah.
And, you guys overstayed your welcome, and we had some talk back and forth, and it's gonna be a good game. We take no team lightly. Obviously, every week is a new game. It's got the score starts out 0-0. It doesn't matter what your record is, and it's the FCF, so anything can happen. You know what I mean? This is this league is kind of unpredictable, so we'll see.
Hey, I got it now. Obviously, the game is final now, and you can obviously now move forward. Mitch Kidd, the quarterback of Aoki, that dude's a baller. And what was going through your guys' mind? I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought he's gonna come back and beat you guys. I'm like, man, this dude's gonna come back again, the comeback kid, so to speak. What was going through your guys' mind on that last position that they had, and obviously close to get in the end zone before it obviously got picked off? But any nerves?
Yeah, I can't lie. I can't say that I wasn't nervous. I knew the Adoki squad liked to play from behind. That was their game plan, and I was hoping that they got a score before the 5-minute mark, so that they couldn't use that the comeback rule. But yeah, I can't lie and tell you that I wasn't sitting on the sideline with my offense for the last, I think it was 8 minutes and 45 seconds of the game.
Yep.
where we didn't see the field, or maybe almost 10 minutes. Almost 10 minutes we didn't see the field with that comeback rule. But them making plays over and over, Mitch has been pretty consistent throughout the whole season. Uh, we knew we can get a hold on them, and we had to give the defense a cushion because that comeback rule is it's not very good. You know what I mean? I feel like it could be a little bit harder, but they took full advantage of it, and our defense came up strong in the end with a stop. And boy, I was relieved because I was on the sideline like, there's no way they're doing this right now. He's not gonna, not 3 possessions in a row. Like, there's no way they're gonna come back and do this. Like, I was worried. I was worried, and to give all the credit to their offense, and they made the plays when it was necessary, but just fell short.
I like when you go into mention, being on the sideline. When you're on the sideline, whether the offensive possession obviously scored a touchdown or just, whatever the case may be, how do you study the game? Or who are you? How should I ask this? How do you study the game during the game? So so pretty much, I guess, in the way of, is there a certain player out there like you really like how they play their game, so you kind of keep an eye on, or do you just watch the whole game as it is and kind of just go through the motions?
I kind of watch the game as a whole. I don't really admire people while I'm on the field. When I become a fan,
Mhm.
right when I hop off and I go to the stands, because we have the early games, I'll become a fan then and kind of admire a few people actually. The Andrew Jamils, and I like to watch Jordan play. He's electric. They call him the cheat code. You probably seen him on the Beast.
Yep.
Um, Come out of the backfield, catch the deep ball. Not the most technical guy, but a real physical and athletic guy. But watching those guys ball, Tyus Boykin, a good friend of mine, Jordan Williams, a wide receiver, came from Buffalo camp to play here, made a big impact. I like seeing those guys play, man. I take a little bit from everybody's game and kind of make it my own.
Right.
But while I'm on the field, nah, I'm pretty locked in. I kind of just try to encourage the defense. You can hear me. I'm pretty loud on the sideline. And maybe if the crowd's not in it, I know that there's 10, 20,000 people in the Discord or watching on Fubu going crazy. But we gotta support our team on the sideline. So I'm just watching, observing, and ready to get back out on the field because I'm anxious. I want to be out there.
Of course, you got to make plays.
Exactly. I can't do that on the sideline. That's why it makes me anxious out there, just sitting there watching them tack on point after point, and it's like, get us back out there. Let's go.
Of course, I like the rock paper scissors coin toss, if you will. A lot of people, if you're obviously not familiar with it, there's no coin toss. It's obviously rock paper scissors. You gotta, you gotta. Hey, do you guys practice that during the practice
Do we practice?
or have fun with it?
In the hotel, I've seen a couple of people in the players' lounge going back and forth, and I like to say I am 1-0, so I feel like rock paper scissors is a good part of my game. If they want to pick me to go up for the championship, I'll take that. You know what I mean? I'll take that opportunity, and I'll go up and do the rock paper scissors. But there are some people that do practice that. I've seen it in players' lounge.
I can see you and Terrence Williams doing rock paper scissors.
Yeah,
Week.
I could probably beat Terrence. Terrence. I feel like Terrence picked rock every time.
I like that.
Yeah.
Of course, at the end of this week, obviously the FCF season is completely over for now until season 3.0. If anybody wants to know why, what am I looking at? This kid making sure he don't come over and mess up my yard. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's trying to do. But anyway, back to the thing. Once the season completes, what's your plans after season 2.0, and where do you go from here? And could we see you potentially back in the season 3.0?
I definitely wouldn't rule out that possibility when it comes to coming back to the FCF to play again. It's obviously a growing league, and it's getting more viewers week by week. I get to present my talents in a showcase, the XFL showcase
Hmm.
on the 19th of July, and I was invited to go out there after the season. So we'll see how that goes. Back to a regular field and
Right.
getting back in shape to do that. So I'll be training as soon as I leave here. But I wouldn't rule it out. And they're talking about starting the next season possibly in January ish, having all the guys back. But I wouldn't rule it out. This has been a phenomenal experience, and they've been nothing but kind. They had hospitality to me, especially working out of the hotel too. Working two jobs is kind of exhausting, but they're trying to make it easy on me, and I would definitely give this another shot if given the opportunity.
Hey, I'm always, a lot of people, James Harden came on here, sometime last year. I don't know exactly the date.
Mr. Bald Fade.
The, the real James Harden, as he likes to be called himself. I asked him the same question, and of course, obviously, nobody knows their future and all that good stuff. But obviously, I'm not going to ask too much in behind the scenes. I'm sure you guys may or may not know, but hopefully, they may add more teams to the league next year. I don't know what their plans are, but be pretty cool.
Yeah, big possibility. I know it's been talked about. I know Ray Austin, great guy, and the owners. I've spoke with all of them almost. I think three out of the four of them I've spoken to and gotten to know. But they plan on doing big things, and they haven't cut us short at any point in the season. It's only gotten bigger each week. I've seen growth everywhere, more people in the stands, and I'm excited for what they got in store for us.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And if you look, looking back at the year you had in the FCF and win or lose this week, and of course, what would you look back and say that what would you look back and say? Hey, you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if you guys win. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Um, what would you look back and be like, hey, overall, my experience was blank. How would you reflect off of this season for you personally?
Uh, I definitely say it was opportunistic. I wanted to say successful, um, but during that we get to win. My opportunities and my season here was successful because that's the only goal, man, to win.
Right.
I come to compete, and ultimately you want to come out on top. I mean, nobody trains to be in second place. You know what I mean? So first, I'd say successful. And then second, I'd say opportunistic because the FCF is full of opportunities.
Mhm.
There are NFL scouts that come here. Just spoke to the Las Vegas Raiders scout. What was 2 weeks ago? He had to come in and meet with a few guys, and Pittsburgh Steelers scout came in the week after. So there's a lot of opportunity everywhere. They offer you live shows if you can pitch your ideas for content, acting opportunities. They have guys come in and talk about real estate. They promote your businesses. There's a lot. It's all opportunity, and what they want to do here is kind of get you to grow as a person, grow as a man, and if you can treat it like the biggest opportunity of your life and take advantage of it, or you can do like some guys did and treat it like summer camp and get cut. You know what I mean? And just be here. But for the most part, take advantage of opportunities. I call it opportunistic, and that's what I've done for the most part.
I like that, and hopefully, I could see you next year in the NFL with the Denver Broncos. I'm just saying,
Broncos fan,
Bronco, big Bronco fan.
how you feel about the Rush trade? You happy about that one?
Here's I actually got pissed some people off on Twitter. Go figure. I actually wasn't for the Aaron Rodgers. I mean, so hear me out. So Aaron Rodgers, real quick. Of course, everybody wants the league MVP, Super Bowl, and
Yeah,
who wouldn't want Aaron Rodgers on their team?
exactly.
So I get that. Yes, I would like to have him on. I didn't like how much we would have gave up for Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Now, and especially for his age.
Yep.
Russell Wilson, I like Russell, even though he tore us a new one in Super Bowl 48. But no hard feelings. But I like it. I thought it was pretty good trade. I think that our quarterback issue was the issue for quite a while, along with our offensive line. But I like it. I'm kind of curious now with our young receivers and Judy and Sutton
Yeah,
and
that's
KJ and even Kendall hitting and Tim Patrick.
mhm.
we could be something next year or this year, I guess now.
That's going to be a deadly combo. I mean, you got an experienced quarterback, especially with those young and talented receivers who can run those short routes, catch it in traffic, and go deep. You guys got potential to be like a top 5 team.
Yep.
I'd say passing in the league. So I'd be excited if I was a Denver Broncos fan. As a Falcons fan,
I was about to ask you that. Who's your team?
I'm a Falcons fan, man. I say that proudly though, but it's been kind of rough these past few years. You know what I mean? Giving up
Yeah.
Julio, the Ridley situation. We could have had what could be the greatest receiving core in Calvin Ridley, Julio, and Kyle Pitts, but now we're kind of like backtracking and rebuilding.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy for those guys, and they actually just picked up my guy, man. Shout out to Jared Bernhardt, lacrosse player at my high school, actually my quarterback as well.
Nice.
Two-sport athlete. He won. I'm not sure what the name is. The equivalent of the Heisman Trophy. He went to Maryland for lacrosse, and obviously All-American there. And said he wasn't done playing football. Went to Fair State and got picked up by Atlanta. So shout out to him, Jared Bernhardt. Remember that name.
I'll keep that in mind, and everybody listen to, of course, get that name. And your thoughts on Matt Ryan, of course, being sent off to Indy. Was that a little surprise, or coming from a Falcons fan, what was your take on that one?
I wasn't very surprised about it. I know we were going through a rebuilding stage, and they had been talked for a few years. And I wish him the best. I mean, the Colts are a contending team who were in need of a quarterback, and I think they got a good one in Matt Ryan, a good veteran quarterback. They got a great rushing attack, great receivers, or good receivers, I should say. And I'm happy for him, man. I'm hoping to see his success, but no more than ours, really. You know what I mean?
A buddy of mine just texted. He wants me to personally ask you this question.
What's that?
He's a big Dallas fan.
Okay.
What's your thoughts on Dallas, and will they ever get past this slump and get back into the big the limelight, the Super Bowl? Any chances Dak leads them to the Super Bowl this year, or any time while he's as a Cowboy?
Golly, I'm not sure what's the hump that they can't get over. I mean, they have a high-powered offense. Their defense has been solid. It's I think it's a curse, man. I don't know what's going on over there. It might be something in the front office, might be something in the water. Do I see them going to the Super Bowl? No. Only time will tell with that one. Hey, good luck to Dallas. I mean, Dak Prescott, great leader. They got good running back, strong receiving core, giving up Amari Cooper, and we'll see how that one goes, man. I'm interested to see how they play it. I think it's something in the front office, though, definitely.
Yeah.
What's going on up there?
That's been my thought for the last 10 years, and I'm still gonna have think that I had a Dallas fan. She was on the show. Oh Lord, probably a month and a half now, but maybe 2 months. The way time flies. But we discussed, Randy Gregory and that last second split from Dallas to Denver. But I think it was a mutual agreement that the front office is the biggest issue with Dallas.
Yeah.
Control.
Whatever's going on over there, I want no parts. No parts.
Hey, you could be the next TO, and Jerry Jones calls you up, and you can do the what was it, the star in the middle of the field?
The celebration.
Yeah.
I'm not even much of a celebration guy until I got to the FCF, and they kind of allow you to do what you want. They encourage it. It's kind of an entertainment scene. I've seen guys jump up on the wall and surf, and yeah, a lot of flips. And as you can see, my celebration, the Keenan Pill Kringleberry one, that was fun to do. But I'm a little bit out of my element when it comes to celebrating, but it's actually kind of fun. I might do it more. You look to see a few celebrations this weekend. Let me know if you want to see anything.
I was about to ask you if you when you score a touchdown this week. It's not if, but when. When you score a touchdown this week, are you going to do a celebration?
Yeah. So last week I had the Hingleman Kringleberry planned, and this week I'm thinking maybe like an American Sniper where I get up in the stands and gun the teammates down. So we'll see. We'll see how that one goes.
So what you're saying is just keep an eye out.
Yeah, just keep an eye out for the celebration. And then you got to vote it for celebration of the week because I wasn't too kind of losing to Kelly Bryant today. We get bonuses for those.
That's what I heard, and I heard that you get bonuses on those. So I was kind of curious that I'm sure but hey, maybe your defense can avoid that from happening this week and keep Kelly Bryant contained.
That's the plan.
Not that I really want to see that. I'm just hoping you're out there.
That's exactly what you're gonna see, man. The game plan is the game plan, and we plan to execute it. So if he doesn't get in the end zone, don't be surprised.
Hey, that dude can play, but I know you guys are stacked on both sides of the ball, and it's going to be legit good game. It should be, I should say.
Those guys have a lot of heart. I'm looking forward to competing, really.
Yeah.
But I think we'll come out on top.
Final few questions for you, and I know you're obviously getting ready for the game week and championship. The younger generation kids, whether they start out pee wee, elementary, whatever the case may be, what would you tell the younger generation, hey, that wants to pursue not so much the NFL, but just a career in football in general? It doesn't matter what league or what have you. What would be some of the advice that you would tell these young kids that's starting to play or maybe play for a few years, but they're about to enter the big leagues, so to speak, for the Pop Warners, if you will? What would you some advice that you would tell this younger generation that wants to pursue just a career in football?
Yeah. I have a nephew. He's 6 going on 7,
Hmm.
and I tell him all the time, persistence and consistency. And he could tell you what consistency means. His name is Dustin Lattimore. He could tell you what consistency means, and practice. That he likes to say, practice makes perfect is what he came home telling me, and that I told him that's just don't get rid of that belief. Practice does not make perfect. You just want you want to be as close to perfect as you can, but practice is a form of consistency that's going to make you better every single day. And as long as you have a love for what you do, getting out there and competing and going to practice even on the days that you don't want to, and competing on the days where it may be too hot or maybe too cold or mom or dad may not, you know, may be bugging you. Those are the days that make you better. Most of all, creating that discipline in yourself and get out there, be consistent, practice, make sure you keep your love for the game because when your love for the game goes and your passion for the game goes, so does your talent. So keep the love and passion and stay consistent. Oh, sorry about that.
You're good. You're good. Last question. I noticed your shirt, and I'm 34, but I feel a whole lot older. Dragon Ball Z. Were you a big Dragon Ball Z growing up?
Yeah, towards my later years, probably like 9 and 10, I watched like every Dragon Ball Z episode. Man, I just sent a meme to my friend um, where he was like, "Hey man, how you feeling?" I got my guy Jordan Williams, who was on the Knights. He messaged me and was like, "Man, how you feeling about this week?" And I sent him back a meme or a GIF, I should say, of Goku in the chamber where he's got the mask on. And I was like, "That's how I'm feeling." He's like, "Oh, you loading? Like you're charging up?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's exactly what it feels like, man. I'm going out to practice. I'm locked in. I'm focused. I'm getting to bed early. I'm watching film early in the morning. I'm lifting, uh, taking this week more serious than ever. I'm kind of like Goku training for his final fight with, say, Majin Buu. You know what I mean?"
Hey, that brings back memories. I remember growing up watching Dragon Ball Z, and of course, that was I think the same time Pokemon was big, and so on and so forth. But I saw him like, man,
Wait for these shows to come on, man.
exactly. Exactly.
I was in the bed like hype, except for when my dad told me I had to go to sleep. Like right when it came on, it was kind of a later show, but I had a bedtime. But I stay up and watch it anyway. He let me.
Last one. It's an easy one. Final score.
Oh man. Okay. Hopefully a lot to a little, but I think the game's gonna come on. I think the game's gonna come down to who makes the most mistakes. I think we've been very well. I don't think I know we've been very consistent throughout the season. A lot of guys get kind of annoyed that we don't turn the ball over in the minimal mistakes that we make, but we take pride in that, and hopefully our guys on defense can create some turnovers for us. We really try to score out every time we get the ball out there. As you can see, last week the Aokis we messed up a mesh and we fumbled on the drive coming out of halftime, the fourth play coming out of halftime, and it gave them an opportunity to get back in the game. So minimize mistakes, and I say we come out, we score every single time. Final score, probably get the comeback rule, get a score on that. I'd say 42-32.
Ooh, I like that.
42-32.
I like that.
And a valiant effort by Kelly to try to squeeze back in the game.
Do you think we're going to see a Kelly do a Heisman pose when he gets in the end zone?
I don't think he doesn't get in the end zone at all, but I can't tell what he's going to do when he gets in the end zone. Man, that guy's a fool. Been playing video games with him in the lounge, and he's a funny guy, good guy. There's no telling what he's going to do, especially when he's up riding the wave, right on top of the fan. So that was funny.
Well, last but not least, I got to ask because someone asked me, what's your playlist going to be like for this week, walking in pre-games?
I try to keep it the same. I'm pretty superstitious. I start out with a little bit of Kendrick Lamar when I wake up.
Nice.
Doesn't get too hype immediately, you know what I mean? I'm a pretty chill guy. I think everybody on our team, you know, we stay kind of under the radar, kind of chill. But Kendrick Lamar going in, a little bit of Travis Scott on the way to the game, and then usually when I get to the game, I turn on some Eric Thomas. If you haven't heard of Eric Thomas, probably the best motivational speaker today. I mean, if you listen to one of his speeches and you're not ready to run through a wall, like, you know, I don't know, you just might not have that dog in you like I do. But
I like that.
Yeah. So Kendrick Lamar, Travis Scott, and then some Eric Thomas motivational speaking to get me right before I go out there.
I like that playlist. You can't go wrong with any of those three. I like that.
Appreciate that.
Hey, I like that. Last but not least, Maurice Thomas, Money Mo, wide receiver in the FCF League, Board Ape Football Club, getting ready for the People's Championship game this Saturday night against the Zappers. And Maurice, best of luck, of course, this week. And hey, just because you came on the show, no, I'm kidding. No, best of luck this week, and I hope you do. No, I hope you do get your championship that you highly deserve. And hey, anytime you're welcome back on, and I look forward to seeing you do big things after this year.
Yes, sir. Hey, Mike, appreciate you for having me. Air Raid Attack. I was thinking it wasn't going to be as planned out and as thorough as it was, but man, you put this thing together, man. This was a great podcast, and I look forward. I'm going to subscribe and look forward to seeing what you do, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and we'll see you on the other side. And you know, maybe we'll get an upset win, but you guys are definitely the team to stack. So it's going to be a good one. But best of luck this weekend, and of course, get that People's Championship for the Board Ape Football Club.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Mike. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Have a wonderful week. You've been listening to the Air Raid Attack podcast. Maurice Thomas, wide receiver in the FCF Board Ape Football Club. You've been listening to the podcast. We'll see you all here shortly. Keith Wainwright comes on. We'll see you guys shortly.